Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello, and welcome to episode 122 of the Film Blurs. My name is Brandon Norwood, aka Hero Protagonist, and I'm joined here today, as always, with...
Hello, this is Jeff Stewart, aka Uncle Jeffrey, aka Praetorian Jeff.
Alright, Con is going on right now. You know, it seems like there's nothing really hitting at a con. The stuff that's hitting is all the real indie foreign language stuff. Horizon debuted and confirmed my worst fears about it. The biggest splash out of Cannes was obviously Furiosa, which you're going to hear more about in this episode later. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is The Apprentice, starring Sebastian Stan as Trump.
Yeah.
A lot of people are upset about the rape scene in this movie, and I'm just like, well, that feeling that you have watching the rape scene, I hope y'all feel that way when it's time to vote.
Right, come in November. Because here's the thing: does it make you uncomfortable? Does it make you feel icky? Good, it's fucking rape. Which
yeah, man, like it's
does.
Not like all the women are like, oh, this is disgusting. It's so offensive because it's so graphic and extended. And I'm just like, well, imagine how Ivanka must have felt when she was going through it.
Right. You think it's bad for you watching it. It was much worse for her.
I mean, come on, y'all. Like, how many women have come out saying like, yo, he did that shit to me? And we're all sitting there like, yeah, we believe you, and but you know, his base, no matter what. Now, like, people are seeing it in the movie, and I'm like, yeah, look, they said it's in the movie. Like, right. They said a couple of months ago, like, hey, just a heads up, there's going to be a rough rape scene in the movie, and now people have been describing it in detail, and it's just like, I read what happens before, during, and after, and I was just like, all this fits into Homeboy's character. Even when I was a kid growing up, to me, he was just a scumbag businessman because every business he had failed. Whenever I go to Atlantic City as a kid and see the Trump Taj Mahal, I would just think, oh yeah, another business that he has. And so when it was announced, oh yeah, that shit is out of business. It's like, yeah, man, every business homie's had has either gone bankrupt or belly up. So
like, I mean, and let's not mention, like, don't forget, like, the Central Park 5.
Yeah,
like, he was like one of the main fucking driving forces to get these kids
prosecuted.
Prosecuted. And like his redlining him and his father, like, he's not a good dude. He's a very, very bad man. And if like, beyond all the bluster and shit that you hear coming from him, if you look at the history, if you look at the actual facts and the court cases and the filings, this dude is a dumb supervillain. It's
funny, too, because you watch interviews of him when he was younger, like in his 20s and when he was in his teens, when he was coming up as a celebrity, you know, real estate guy. People are asking him like, oh, you know, you seem charismatic. Would you have any interest for running for president? He's like, no, man. He's like, I remember watching the one. He's like, no, that should be held for politicians. The greatest president was Abraham Lincoln. He's like, what am I going to do that he's done? And I was just like, damn how shit changes in 50 years, huh?
Gets a little bit of power, gets a little bit of fame. Small dicks need that. You know, they small dick energy causes people to have huge voids in their lives that need to be filled with bullshit.
all this because a black dude was president.
Right. Let's not forget like the fucking Tea Party bullshit is
That's
like
that is the exact reason why everything went down. It's just because we had one black dude for president.
and just because he has like quote unquote black friends doesn't mean he's not racist. Like every racist has a black friend.
Oh yeah. Fucking. Anyways, but
Everyone
yeah,
has got a gym.
I wanted to touch on Cannes, which is going on right now. I guess next episode we'll talk about who won the Golden Lion out of Cannes. We'll see. I don't know, man. Cannes movies are usually hit or miss. You know what I mean?
Whenever they say, "Oh, it got like a 8-minute standing ovation or 11-minute standing ovation," that's cool, right? For them there at the moment, but like it's also the French.
I
Right?
want to see who gives the standing ovations that matter to me are the ones from Venice and Toronto when it's
Right.
the end of August, beginning of September, because those two are the kickoff of, award season.
Yeah.
And you just want to know, all right, what's hitting, what's not hitting. Because they won't stand up and clap for your shit. Like they gave a 7-minute standing ovation for Horizon. And lo and behold, all these reviews are like, yeah, it stinks. And I was just like, yeah, you know what I mean? There's a reason why Denny's like, yeah, TV has crept up in the cinema and it sucks and we got to get back to it. It's like, yeah, nigga, because you want a beginning, middle, and end, not just like, here's episode 1 of basically miniseries. Like, that's what we're getting. It's just long form miniseries in theaters.
Like for the longest time, for like the last 15 years, television has far surpassed movies when it comes to actual storytelling.
Yeah.
So
Look, man. It's the one thing I get. Like I said, I love Nolan. He gives you a big event without setting up. Like, oh yeah, by the way, this is gonna lead into 5 other things. He's just like, oh no, this shit's done. And we ask him like, yo, you gonna do a sequel, man? He's like, probably not.
right? And like even if you look at Batman Begins, beginning, middle, and end, like The Dark Knight, even though it's a kick in the balls ending, it's an ending, right?
Yeah.
Like you could watch The Dark Knight and it could just be like Batman on the run, and that's the end. Like you could never get another Batman movie, and that's closure.
It's funny because every one of those he's made, he did not want to make a sequel. Like he did not want to make The Dark Knight. He did not want to make The Dark Knight Rises, and that for more obvious reasons, right? Just because of Heath. Listen, I think him. That's the thing I've come to accept within recent weeks. Is just like I think that trilogy just burnt him out on ever wanting to continue a story.
Right. Fair enough. I get it. Because that's all he was known for the longest time. No one talked about, hey, well, fucking Interstellar, Inception, even going back all the way to fucking Memento.
Because people have asked him, like, hey, man, are you going to do Inception sequel? Hey, is there going to be a Tenet sequel? And he's just like, probably not. And I was just like, yeah, I get it, man. I get it. You want to keep blowing people's minds, and if the story ain't there, you know what I'm saying? Why force it? Why force it? Jeff, what have you watched lately?
What are you watching?
All right. So we actually talked about this on the train yesterday, coming back from Furiosa. There's so much shit coming out all at the same time now that I feel overwhelmed. So that's why I've been going back to the well and watching shit like from the past. That's what started me on my whole entire NYPD Blue journey, right? And so I'm still on that NYPD Blue journey. I'm on season 8, only 2 more seasons to go. Still, like if you have never sat down and watched NYPD Blue, you owe it to yourself to do so, right? Like it has been the blueprint for cop shows since '93. Like every cop show, modern cop show that you see now, like barring everything that like Dick Wolf did, right, has come from NYPD Blue. And Dennis Franz, his Andy Sipowicz, is perhaps one of the most complex depictions of a police officer ever. And like, this is why this dude won 4 Emmys for this role, right? It is so good. And like the fact that like this fucking balding old fat man is the star of this show after David Caruso left and after Jimmy Smith left is a testament to how like powerful an actor Dennis Franz is. So like, if no one has given Dennis Franz his flowers in a minute, I'm saying Dennis Franz, like, you created an Andy Sipowicz, a man that I both hate, love, respect, and despise all at the same time. Right? So thank you for that. Thank you. Moving on from that, randomly on Amazon, you know, their warped suggestion system, they gave me a movie to watch called Some Guy Who Kills People. Right? And I've seen previews, like I've seen this pop up other places, but I never thought to give it a chance. Like I had like an hour and a half to kill, so I was like, why the fuck not? So it is, if this came out in 95, totally get it. Like, it fits right into that sort of vibe, that indie low budget fucking either serial killer or crime movie vibe. But this came out in, I think, what was it, 2011, right? And it doesn't fit in 2011, right? It is an okay movie. It is utterly forgettable. But I didn't hate myself for watching it. If you've seen any movie of this type, you already know how it ends. You know all the story beats, yada, 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 yada. But it's done effectively, right? And sometimes you just want a movie that is done competently and effectively, right? So Some Guy Who Kills People, it's on Amazon through Freevee. Like, if it shows up in like things you may like, fucking click on it. Give the filmmakers a little bit of change, and keep it moving. Moving on from that, once again, I watched The Hunt, and I think I've seen this movie 6 times.
Damn.
And yeah, man, I fucking love this movie. It's also on Amazon through Freevee. Betty Gilpin fucking kills it, right? Like, like figuratively and literally. And like, it's fun, it's smart, but it's not too smart. And yeah, like, I think is one of the best things I've enjoyed from Carlton Cuss, honestly, as a writer, in the longest time at least, right? Yeah, so if you haven't seen The Hunt, I don't want to ruin anything for you, but you need to give it a chance. And shout out to everybody involved in this movie. And I just want to leave you saying, the Jackrabbit always wins. And if you watch the movie, you'll know what I mean. And finally, under what I've been watching lately, I decided to watch Wonderland, which is the story of the Wonderland murders from 1981, involving John Holmes, the porn actor. If you know me, I love golden age porn. I love fucking saggy tits and big bushes. So I'd like, let me watch this this true crime movie starring Val Kilmer about like one of the most heinous murders in LA history. And it is bad, right? It is so fucking bad. It's trying to be like Blow and Boogie Nights, but not nearly as self-assured. It feels like Wish.com Blow or Wish.com Boogie Nights. And here's the thing. Boogie Nights, that scene with Alfred Molina, right? That is based off of the Wonderland murders.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, man. Like, so pretty much Dirk Diggler is John Holmes,
Oh, wow.
right? And so, like, that scene with Alfred Molina, like, I forget what that dude's name, Teddy, what was his fucking
I
name?
can't remember.
Yeah, I
The
can remember.
drug dealer dude.
The drug dealer, that's Eddie Nash. Eddie Nash was a real nigga, right? Like, he was a real dude, right? And so you would think that a movie that came out 5 years after Boogie Nights, that came out 3 years after Blow, would be like, yeah, this is the real shit that all that shit was based on. Like, watch the real shit. It is bad. It's like the editing is horrible. It's overacted. And the thing is, it's stacked with stars. Everybody wanted, at that time, wanted to be in this fucking movie. But like the director, James Cox, like he did a couple of TV shows. He did Mega Shark versus blah blah blah. He did a couple of those silent films, and I don't know how he got this to Captain. Yeah, so I guess he was the lowest bidder or whatever. But if anyone else had done this movie, we would still be talking about this, possibly as one of Val Kilmer's greatest roles, you know, or especially compared to like The Doors, right? This was his opportunity to fucking get an Oscar, but it's wasted. Everybody is wasted in this.
Damn.
So, yeah. So Wonderland, it's on fucking HBO Max. If you want to know the true story behind Boogie Nights, watch this shit. But it's not even like the full story. It's dumb.
Damn.
All right, man. So what have you been watching?
I'm gonna start off with TV. The first thing in TV I want to start off with is Law and Order. This finale is all about Tony Goldwyn's AD and his re-election campaign. And it starts off with him going to a fundraiser. He goes to a fundraiser and a celebrity baseball player, like Derek Jeter type, gets shot. Come to find out, the shooter was there for him. And it gets into this whole thing where it affects his marriage and shit. And that last shot of the episode, I was just like, Jesus Christ. I was like, yeah, of course. I was like, damn. I was like, Tony Goldwyn played that moment like perfectly. I was just like, yo. I was like, Law and Order. And then moving right into organized crime. This is the first season where everything's not wrapped up by the end of the season. So the big bad drug dealer actually gets away. And on the plane is Stabler's brother going off with him. And I'm just like, damn, we're going to have to deal with this shit next season. You could just see everything that's happened in these past 4 seasons is starting to finally weigh down on Stabler as he's sitting there talking to his wife at her gravestone. You could just see like, yo, because it intercuts all these events over the past 4 seasons. He's just like, this has been a lot. So like when his son tells him like, yeah, like when his son tries to tell him like, yo, I'm gonna be a dad, and he has this black girl who is pregnant. He's just like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? He's like, it is what it is. I'm not mad. But like when he tells him like, yeah, I'm gonna be a cop, Stabler's like, the fuck you are? You mean be a cop? And everybody has to like calm his ass down. Like, yo, like he's keeping up. Your son is keeping up the family tradition. Like he wants to do right. And his son, he's like, I don't want you to be a cop. He's like, this is unacceptable. This is why I sent you to college. I'm like, bro, you're more upset about him being a cop than you are him dropping out and having a kid with this girl.
I mean, I guess that's progress. You know, I guess that's the wokest this show can get. It's like, oh yeah, you can fuck all the black bitches you want, but don't you become a cop.
Like, damn, I was just like, shit. Very interested to see what they're gonna do next season. They're only getting 10 episodes, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Seems like y'all gonna need like a full season,
Right?
like a full, like at least like 20. Like, give my man's 20. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
yo,
that's how it used to be back in the day, man. Like fucking these NYPD episodes, like seasons are fucking 23 episodes long.
20. Yeah. Law and Order, they're coming back next year. SVU, they're coming back next year. Both of them with 22, 24 episode counts. So, like, it fluctuates anywhere between 24 and 22 for Law and Order. And now they're just like, oh yeah, y'all get 10. I'm like, damn, all right. But whatever, at least it's coming back.
Right.
Speaking of fluctuating season numbers, SNL, they always fluctuate between 20 and 22. We haven't gotten a 22 episode season for like a while. It was like pre-pandemic.
Right.
This season was 20 episodes. So Jake Gyllenhaal hosted the finale with musical guest Sabrina Carpenter. And I love how the entire episode, he's just like, so this counts for episode season 50, right? They're like, nah. They're like, he's like, this can't be episode, count towards. They're like, nah. He's just like, oh, I'm hosting the last episode of season 49. Yay!
So
the Boys to Men thing was great.
I missed this episode. I couldn't because fucking Peacock was messing up, man. Peacock was fucking up last night.
You missed the joke swap.
I'm gonna watch it tonight though. Don't ruin nothing. Well, the joke
Weekend update.
Is it back? Is like because Weekend update for the last couple of weeks has been weak.
Yes, and it's weak up until the joke swap. They do the joke swap, and he's like, Michael Che goes, yeah, I went real low by hiring an actress to portray a civil rights leader, but now I just want to bring out a ma'am, a nice lady who can help you tell you these jokes, Colin. I like to bring out Rabbi Miriam.
Oh, say no more. Say no more. I cannot wait to watch this shit. Oh, poor Colin Jost.
I gotta be in the audience for next season, dog. Because next season, season 50, like, I gotta go to at least one of them episodes.
Like, how do we put that into the universe? Because I'm not waiting in line. I'm not gonna be that motherfucker to wait for like standby. So like, someone who listens to the show, get us on the show.
Yeah, because you have to enter the lottery, and then once you get the lottery, you got to go get your tickets, and either you're going to be the dress rehearsal or the actual show, and I want to be part of the actual show. Like, I get it. Like, the dress rehearsal has everything, and the dress rehearsal goes on for like 2.5 hours because they do every skit, and then whatever didn't work during the dress rehearsal, they're like, all right, that, and then the ones they do pick for the actual show, sometimes they don't even do them all because of time.
Right. Have you seen the cut for times on YouTube?
Yeah. Like, the one I recently saw was, oh my god, what was that? The sequel to Papyrus, and I was like, oh yeah, this is why. I was like, I see why y'all cut this, because this wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah. And
there was another one. There was a Please Don't Destroy one that got cut for time. But yeah, look, Jake Gyllenhaal, man, I was just like, yo, solid host, and reminds me why he is a movie star. Like, I feel bad because every time I see him, I'm just like, oh yeah, this nigga really wants an Oscar.
Right, he does. He honestly, I don't know what he was up against when Nightcrawler came out, but he should have got some for Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Cool that he's doing Roadhouse too, though, and that's cool that got greenlit.
I mean, like, look, it's fine. Like, we talked about it. I
told you they were gonna do sequels because it sets itself up for that.
Yeah, like he's gonna be the fucking white trash version of Kane from Kung Fu, where he's just gonna travel around to fucking from town to town, kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah,
And yeah, and
Nah.
I'm fine with that. I'm honestly fine with that.
right. Just hope the movie's a little better.
Better, yeah.
And don't bring back Conor McGregor, dog.
Please don't. Please, that's grinning maniac.
He should have been. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But Sabrina Carpenter, this is my first time hearing anything from her. I've seen her before, and to me, she always looks like a 15-year-old Barbie doll.
Okay.
But yeah, Google her real quick.
I think I might have heard her music. I just I've got music blindness. Like I'll hear a song, but I don't care who sang it.
This is definitely for the music she sings. Like, there's pop stars all the time, and I hear pop stars and pop songs. I'm like, yeah, I get why people love it. This is the first time in a minute where I heard a pop song, and I'm just like, oh, this is strictly for like 12-year-old girls, dog. I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, she's from like Girl Meets World. Like, so she's the Disney chick.
Oh, is
right?
she?
Yeah, like if you look at her, like she did the remake of Adventures in Babysitting. She's on something called. She's on the Girl Meets World.
That's why she blew up so quickly. Because she came out of nowhere, and I was just like, sure. And then I finally saw her perform these songs, and I'm just like, these are songs for 15 to 12-year-old girls.
Right. I mean, she sort of looks like
She looks like a 15-year-old Barbie doll.
Like she looks like a Wish.com version of Margot Robbie.
She's dating Barry Keoghan. I just found that out.
Oh, good for him.
I was like,
good for him.
All right, Barry. All right, Barry. I don't know.
We see you, Barry. We know what your type is.
It looks like if I saw her in real life, I'd straight up ask her, like, does it hurt to move? Because like you just look plastic. But yeah, not for me. Not for me. I'm not hating on her. I'm not hating on her music. It's just I am once again I am a grown ass man, and this is not meant for a grown ass man.
She was born in
straight.
She was born in '99, so that tells you all you need to know.
Wait, what? She looks like she was born in 2020.
Nah, man.
Or 2010.
Nah, man. 1999.
What? Are you sure she wasn't born in 2010?
May 11th, 1999. Still young as fuck. Still 22. Or no, 25.
See, I look at her and I just see a child who's trying to have sex appeal.
Oh, hey, she's from Quakertown, PA, so she's she's definitely on that Taylor Swift track. Like, I'll give you one thing about PA. PA builds some real interest in singing white chicks.
Yo, so Paramount, give me some money so I could redo a Witness remake. Because if there's this many white chicks coming from Quaker, PA like this, I'm like, yo, let's remake Witness.
Oh shit.
All right, moving on. I thought they were only dropping one episode, and it wasn't until I booted up Amazon that the entire second season of Outer Range finally dropped. 2 years later, they just dropped it all at once. An episode shorter than the first season. So Season 1 was 8, this one's 7. Once you get past the first episode, I fuck with this season a lot. I don't know if it's better than the first, but I like them both in different ways.
Yeah, because like and the less you know about the outer range, the better. And I think the previews for Season 2 do well to keep everything under wraps for like what happened in Season 1. And I was actually kind of looking forward to catching it week by week, like the last one.
But I get why they did it too, because one storyline, oh man, what's Josh Brolin's son, one of his sons,
right?
He's just chilling in a hotel with the chick he was trying to win back all last season. So their whole season-long story arc until like the last couple episodes where they finally leave the hotel is them two just chilling in the hotel trying to plan their next move. And I'm just like, yo, like that was the weakest storyline. Otherwise, everybody is doing some wild shit in this. Everybody basically figures out that they are traveling through time. They're just like, everybody's spread out across time. And this season, everybody's trying to get back into one place.
Right.
Since everybody's now traveling through time, everybody's kind of rallying around Royal, like, nigga, you've been living through this for the past 60 years?
Right. Yeah.
So the season ends and it's basically oh boy, it's leading to an
Season 3?
impending a face off. A
All right.
face off, and I'll leave it at that. This better get a third season, man, because now that like basically everybody knows what's going on, but still trying to figure out just the how and why.
Right.
I'm excited. I'm excited, man. It's Yellowstone except with like time travel
Right. Yeah.
and
And
much
I
weirder.
can't wait. And I can't wait to dive into the second season. I will give you one thing. Fucking when Amazon does it well, they kill it, you know?
Yeah.
But they also will cancel a show
Yes. Yes.
before it's time, aka The Peripheral.
I mean, A League of Their Own. They'll cancel anything. I
Right.
know a lot of people like The Tick. That got canceled.
It was fine.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Lily Taylor because Lily Taylor, she is killing it in this as like, royal just as a woman,
Uh-huh.
and she looks like a cowgirl just throughout. Like she could have been like Clint Eastwood's sidekick in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's how she looks throughout this second season. And I'm just like, she is putting in work, and I was just like, Lily Taylor does not get enough praise or flowers for the work she does.
Like Lily, I've had a crush on Lily Taylor since I Shot Andy Warhol, right? Like she as an actress, even if the movie is horrible or the show is horrible, I have never seen her phone anything in.
Yeah.
Never.
I mean, she was in I Think It's Funny, and she was in the first Conjuring movie.
Right.
I think it's funny when Ron Livingston and her move into the haunted house and they have four daughters. I was just like, God bless them. They got 4 daughters. And the first thing they move in, she turns to him and is like, so we're gonna christen this house tonight? And he's just like, Yeah. Yeah. Like as soon as she turned to said that, I was like, oh, that's why y'all got 4 daughters and counting. Y'all about to work on 5 and 6. That shit was funny. Yeah, I forgot Lily Taylor was also in The Haunting.
Yeah.
That was a terrible remake. Oh man. All right. Anyways, moving on to movies. I was going to actually see The Strangers Chapter 1. So this past weekend. So I was like,
I forgot that came out.
Before I go see it, let me watch the first one because I've only seen the first one once, and I remember it freaking me out. I watched it again, and I was just like, "Oh, what? Glenn Howerton's in this?"
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and he catches a buckshot to the face.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was like, Glenn Howerton's in it, and then like the movie itself, you're just like, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
It is what it is. I can't even be mad at it. Like, it not as terrifying as I remembered. After watching the first one, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go see this new one. And then I got real bored and real zooted on another day, and I was like, oh, HBO Max also has the second one up in addition to the first one. I've never seen the second one. I was like, let me watch the second one.
Right.
Not good at all. And they're trying to do that throwback vaporware 80s vibe, like they're shooting it like in 80s horror movies. So there's like long takes, there's slow zooms, you know what I'm saying?
Like
there's long tracking shots.
Only Adam Weingart can do that shit. Like honestly, like if you're not Adam Weingart or even like Radio Silence, like stop.
Yeah, with the synth score.
Yeah, just stop.
Yeah, I was just like, y'all changed the aesthetic between these two movies so hard, and
it's jarring.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, I appreciate it, but like, you guys can't pivot that hard after the first one was this realistic home invasion movie, and now you're just making like a 80s throwback slasher, which they all die at the end. All the strangers died at the end. So I was like, well, how is this supposed to be a franchise when this first came out? This came out in 2018.
Well, I guess the prequel. Oh my
God.
What?
So The Strangers came out in 2008. The second one, The Strangers, Pray at Night. Get it?
Yeah.
Came out 10 years later in 2018. I didn't even realize that movie was that recent.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen The Strangers. I know people fucking cape hard for it. Look, very few home invasion movies have done it for me, right? Especially American-made home invasion movies. So I was like, whatever. And so this new one's a prequel, right? Or is it a
Yeah,
sequel?
it's a prequel, quote unquote, for because I was gonna go see it, and then I watched these two. I was just like, you know what, man, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, it's a prequel, but basically everybody's like, yo, this is supposed to be a prequel, but it's basically just the remake of the first one. And then I
Oh.
found out like what chapters 2 and 3 are gonna be, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely good on seeing this then. So chapters 2 and 3 are just gonna keep following the redhead girl as she's eluding the strangers.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
these movies, this new trilogy that's coming out over the course of this year, which is wild because this first one probably should have came out in like,
October?
you know, what?
Last year, October?
That or January. January, February. Should have came
Right.
out around then. So that way, right now, you get chapter 2.
And chapter
then
3 in
chapter-
October.
Right.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Or just spread them out over a fucking year. I don't know why y'all putting them out so close together. Anyway, point being, all 3 of these movies are following this woman over the course of 4 days. And I
So
was
it's an
just like,
extended chase sequence.
I guess. I don't know. I'm good though. I'm good.
That would
After
be
watching the original, I was just like, yeah, I have no interest.
that would be a great concept for a better movie.
I mean, it overperformed. Like everybody thought it was going to make like less than 10 million this weekend, and it actually ended up making 13. And it only cost 8 million to make. So I was like, oh well, good for them.
Horror films, man. You don't have to be good. You just have to be there.
It's a shame too. I was just like, damn, y'all showed up for this shit, but couldn't show up for The Omen. All right.
Right? And look, like you couldn't show up for a lot of shit because you know what just hit fucking streaming? The Fall Guy.
Fall Guy, yeah. People have said that too. They're just like, this is why this movie flopped, because now even the studio's not even giving it a chance. They're like, give it till the end of June to at least try to make some money back.
Right? Like I was so looking forward to watching The Fall Guy in a theater.
I mean, you
Like,
still can.
I still can, but it's just like, word, really?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it hasn't even been 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I saw that shit. I got mad. Honestly,
Yeah.
I got mad.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's why people are like, yo, this is why the industry's dying, because y'all don't give enough time to let shit play out in theaters. Like the fact that I own Dune Part 4, right? The Blu-ray just came out last Tuesday, and
Right.
now today
It's on
hits
HBO Max.
and Hulu. I was like, yo, y'all should have, first off, this should have been playing in theaters for a minute because it was still making money when they pulled it from theaters.
Right.
It hits VOD a month after it comes out into theaters. And it's on VOD for a minute, and now y'all give the home media release, the physical release, a week before y'all throw it up on streaming for free. I was just like, this is the biggest movie of the year. It's made so much money, and y'all just quick to throw it up on streaming. I was just like, y'all are stupid.
Yeah, it's like this whole entire dynamic is the studios complain that they're not making money, but they are doing things to actively not make money.
Yes, and it's going to backfire on them to eventually they're going to have to overhaul this whole entire system and the way of they're doing these things, that the windows are probably going to come back. Like,
Yeah.
I guarantee you the windows are going to come back because this is not sustainable.
Right, because I remember back in the day, like when I was a kid, like you wouldn't get something on VHS for a year.
Yeah, it took a year.
Right.
So, like, I got pissed if I couldn't see something in a movie. I didn't see Goofy movie in theaters. I had to wait a year till it hit VHS.
Right. Yeah, it's so fucking. Because
Yeah.
everyone's competing with Netflix, and the thing is, you don't have to compete with Netflix. Just do what you do. Right?
Yo,
Stop.
listen. There's a reason why Netflix is in debt. They're 20 billion in debt. So like I don't think that is really a business model anybody should be following.
It was like, oh yeah, you're gonna try to keep up with a business that's going out of business. Okay, cool. That's smart.
Because Donna Langley runs Universal, and she straight up said, she's like, straight up, like, we're gonna rely on IP, but we also have to make new films and just get original event films in the theaters. And she also said, one of two things that I think is going to happen more quickly than later. One is prices, and I agree with this. Budgets are going to go down drastically,
significantly.
Like the age of $200 million movies is basically done, and it should be, honestly. And then two, she even said this. She's like, yeah, I think the windows are going to go bigger because these shrinking windows aren't doing anybody any favors. And she's like, I know I've been talking. She didn't name who it was, but I think I know who it is. She said her and another studio head sat down and talked, and it was like, yo, we gotta figure out a way to make these windows longer, the theatrical window, and then making the VOD and home releases later like it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, just do it, right? Like,
Yeah.
just, going forward, whatever contracts you sign is like, look, yeah, no, this shit's, it hits DVD first, and we'll give you a smaller window for DVD sales, all right? So, like, we'll give you 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, right? So, like, after a year, when we put, or I'll give them 8 months, 6 months, whatever like that.
How about, like, let's say Dune hits theaters March.
Right.
How about we hit VOD end of May, like this week it should be hitting VOD. And then next month, you get the DVD release, right? The Blu-ray release. 2 weeks, maybe let's say 3, and then July 4th, big holiday.
Put it back in there. Yeah.
It's on HBO Max and Hulu.
Yeah.
So when people are having their cookouts, oh, you guys, before you head home, you gotta want to watch Dune. I got HBO Max. I got Hulu.
Right. Yeah. They'll figure it out or they'll die.
Yeah, man. Because and for those of you complaining about movie budgets getting smaller, like, you did this too. Like, y'all didn't go see shit.
Right. Like the Fall Guy. What did that cost? Like
$130.
$130. Right. Like, they got to recoup that money somehow. So,
and I feel bad because Ryan Gosling was like, yeah, we had a sequel ready to go. Like, we thought we were going to make this. I was like, damn, it's the Nice Guys all over again, where now every day somebody comes out, it's like, yo, why wasn't this a hit? Why don't we have a sequel?
Because you didn't go out and watch it.
Yeah,
because you didn't go to the theater.
Exactly. Same thing with Blade Runner. Everybody's like, how did this flop? And it's like, because y'all motherfuckers didn't go see it.
Right? And, like, you got no excuse now. Like, you can't blame the pandemic anymore.
Yeah, because and then you can't even blame competition, because right now it is not that crowded. Like, the biggest movies right now are Fall Guy and Apes.
Right. And, like, here's the thing. You even think of it economically, right? We're like, most people are paying $70 a month for their various streaming services, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go to A-List or whatever, like the Regal version of A-List is, pay the $25 a month and see movies out in the theater.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you're dumb. Like, you're spending fucking $5.99 on fucking Shudder that you watch maybe once every 3 months, as opposed to putting that money into something where you just go out to the theater whenever you fucking want.
Bro, you see one movie, right? A regular ass movie, right? And then you go see an IMAX movie, that more than pays for itself.
Right. Like,
or you could see even going to 3 movies a month, just normal on a regular normal ass screen. That pays for itself. That pays the whole shit off.
And, like, you get fucking 12 movies a month. Like, you've got 12 screenings a month that you can go to for $25, right? Let's see you watch 12 movies on any of these services combined, and if you're not us.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're a regular person, then the shit you're watching on streaming, you can watch big as fucking life. Bigger than life.
Yo, man, look. It's telling. It's really telling to see even yesterday when they had they were dating some movies. I forget what movie it was, but they dated some movie and they're like, yeah, 2026 and it's getting an IMAX release. And I'm like, yo, everybody's trying to hop on the IMAX wave just because that's what the thing that makes the most money now is IMAX and then Dolby. And it's just like, well, first off, 1, shoot for IMAX. 2, we need to build more IMAXs. It's just that simple. Like, I feel like now every theater should have 2 IMAXs, 2 Dolbys. So that way shit can play. Like the Fall Guy can play in IMAX for more than a week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Dune could play in IMAX for 2 months, and then other movies can get a fair shake in the in another IMAX auditorium. There's the reason why every theater in China has 2 IMAX screens.
Once again, China's winning. Like everywhere else is winning but us. And we invented this shit. We invented movies. Like Jersey invented movies, practically.
Yeah,
right? But like
Jersey invented movies, Canada invented IMAX.
So like, but you'll let these other motherfuckers take your shine. Okay.
China is onto something with those 2 IMAXs in a theater, and they be posting pictures. Both of them shits be fucking filled up. I'm like, okay, so if they're filling up and they got 2, which means they could run multiple movies a day across 2 IMAXs, or maybe even the same movie in 2 IMAXs. I don't know, something's wrong.
Right.
Like we definitely need like more IMAXs. Just saying.
Yes, just saying.
So.
Well,
anyways, I'm The Strangers. I'm not seeing the new trilogy. That's how we got in this whole thing. Is like I'm not seeing this shit. Anyways, moving on. I'm part of Disney Movie Rewards, which is if you buy like physical media from Disney, they'll have the digital copy. If you take that code and redeem that digital copy code on Disney Movies Anywhere, you get points for it. I had so many fucking points that I was just like, yo, I gotta redeem some of this shit. And I was looking through, I was like, oh, let me see what 4K I want for free. They had Cinderella, the 4K, Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy, combo pack. So I was like, all right, let me redeem these awards. I didn't pay for shipping, Jeff. I paid nothing. Like the fact that the shipping was free was amazing. So this shit, and it showed up 2 days later after I redeemed the points, and I still have mad points left over. Like I could order another fucking 4K Blu-ray, but the only other one they have is Rise of Skywalker. So I was like, oh, I'm good.
Nah, pass on that.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, let's see how Cinderella looks, man. Because I have the live action remake on 4K, and I haven't seen the cartoon in a minute. I put it in, and I was just like, oh yeah, they remastered the fuck out of this shit. Also, I understand why this movie stood the test of time. It's only 70 minutes, and the songs are catchy.
Is it only 70 minutes? Jesus.
Yeah. I remember I was sitting there watching, I was like, bro, if mice and birds were like this in real life, everybody would be happy. There'd be no loneliness. Like, especially if they look like that. Like, there'd be no reason to have... everybody would be trying to live in New York, because then you'd just be sitting there talking to mice and shit. Be like, yo, so... can you fix this button on my shirt, bro?
I mean, in New York's defense, there are probably some people out there walking the streets who think the birds and the mice are talking to them. Just saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they are terrifying. Like the rats in New York are terrifying. In this movie, they're all cuddly and shit, and I'd be sitting there like, imagine, yo, I'm telling you, man, I'd be talking to rats all the time. Be like, yo, bro. Should we go? What do you think? Pizza or burger today? Pizza? All right. I'll make sure you get some pepperoni, all right? As I'm eating, I'll hand you a little pepperoni, my guy. But yeah. Fucking bippity boppity boo. I still fuck with that. I forgot that was even this movie till she started singing. The fairy godmother started singing. I mean, it's a Disney classic for a reason. I ain't even gonna hold you. Yeah, shout out to Disney. That shit free. Free, baby.
You can never beat free. Never ever.
Free 4K Blu-ray. I'm going to move now into the 4K Blu-ray. I watched this twice because this transfer is so good. The 4K Blu-ray for Dune Part 2. I played it loud. So loud that the walls in my room started shaking. The transfer, the picture is amazing, Jeff. Like, amazing.
How are the special features on it?
Very minimal.
Okay.
Because WB skipping out. The first movie, it was a combo pack. So you got a Blu-ray, the 4K Blu-ray on one disc, and then the Blu-ray had the special features and the movie. This one, all you get is just the 4K Blu-ray. And because of that, there's only like, I want to say 20 minutes of special features, and they're all little featurettes. I was like, damn, for even successful movies like Barbie and Dune, y'all are just like, I don't give a shit.
Nah,
Meanwhile, Nolan's like, yeah, we worked real hard on the video version for Oppenheimer. We have a whole bonus disc that has 3 hours of special features, which has 2 feature-length documentaries, one about the making of the movie and another one about Oppenheimer himself. And that honestly enriches the movie because you realize watching that documentary, they left out so much in that movie just because that nigga had just a crazy life.
Right.
Yeah, this it's shameful. It really is shameful. I understand why people are like, I think I'm gonna go make my movie at Universal or Sony because this shit's shameful, bro. If this is how you're gonna treat like one of your biggest movies, give this shit to license it out.
Right.
License it to Criterion or Kino Lorber or one of those boutique like Arrow. License it to a boutique label and let them do their thing. Because outside of the picture and the audio, like this shit's shameful. I mean, the fact that they're shoving special features on the disc itself is shameful. The only reason why it looks so good and sounds so good is because the disc itself is 100 gigabytes.
Jesus. All right. So, I mean, how is the menu design? Like, is it like did they put any money?
Listen, they put no effort into the menu design.
So like,
so that's what I'm saying. At least the movie itself is fantastic. Like the Dolby Atmos track is fantastic. The picture is fantastic. I was like, yeah, these motherfuckers cared. And the fact that they're not even listening to Denny and Greg, because both of them have said we want the IMAX version of both Part 1 and Part 2 available for you guys to watch at home, like everybody else. And Warner Brothers is like, oh, y'all just getting the regular widescreen. It's shameful. But yeah, if you have a 4K setup, I can't recommend this disc enough. Like, this is something, if you want to convince people to buy a 4K player, a 4K TV, and home theater setup, pop in Dune Part 2. That's what I'm saying. Pop this shit in, because they will buy it ASAP. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, because the rest we're saving for the main review, I want to talk about the American Society of Magical Negroes.
Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think this movie has a lot of ideas, and some of them are very interesting in what they try to do with them. It just never executes any of the ideas successfully. And it has no idea how to execute any of these ideas successfully. Like, either this should have been like a satire, because this is not a satire at all. This should have been a satire on the magical Negroes trope, or it should have been a romantic comedy dealing with these two biracial people dealing with a unintentional racist white coworker. Like,
I mean, this should have been like a series, perhaps. Maybe the ideas would have been fully explained in the series. And like, here's the thing. You thought it was going to be a satire, because even when they're in the fucking, when dude first arrives at the magical Negro training ground, and they showing like the holograms for the lessons, right? And like great black magical Negro history, it was set up as satire.
yeah.
Right, but then nothing happens.
Yeah. And then there's the very last scene of the movie is a reveal, because I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna spoil this shit.
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
very last scene of the movie is the love interest, who's half Japanese, half white. She's in the trailers, like you see her.
Right.
She is part of SOSWAG, which is the Society of Girlfriends and Housewives. I was just like, that would have been interesting to play up halfway through the movie. Like, they both discover that they're part of secret societies, and they're like, oh, well, I mean, fuck our mission. Let's, like, we love each other. Because at the end of the movie, he's like, I'm sorry I just disappeared on you. She's like, because this fool, she builds the Empire State Building out of Legos, and he helps her, because that's one of the things they can do at work. And they flirt at work, and they built that thing together. And she's like, I always want to go here, looking at him with the googly eyes. So at the end of the movie where he confesses her love to her, he teleports her to the top of the Empire State Building.
Mm.
And then just as they're about to kiss, he disappears because he's called back to the Magical Negroes headquarters in San Diego. Bro, she fucking called him 20 times. And when he realizes, like, oh, fuck, I left that bitch. He looks at her phone, has 20 missed calls, runs to her house. She pulls up in a taxi. And he's just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she just kisses him. And I'm just like, wait. You're not going to say like, yo, fuck you for leaving me on top of the Empire State Building, having to catch a flight from New York back to San Diego. And she's just like, he's just like, oh, I'm sorry I left you there. I'm part of a magical society, secret society. She's like, haha, I am too. And he's like, no, seriously, I am. She's like, yeah, me too. And you're just like, whatever, until that very last scene.
So, yeah, I'm acting like I'm surprised by some of this because I've tried to watch this movie 4 times and I've fallen asleep or just gotten so bored at the 30-minute mark.
Yes, because
right?
it is boring for long stretches of it. And that's the thing is like there's parts of this where I'm just like, this is interesting. Like he gives a whole speech at the end of the movie about making white people comfortable and that it should not be his job and he's tired of trying to make white people feel comfortable. And I'm just like, this would be great if if you guys earned this, because that is not earned at all. Like you guys have done nothing to earn that speech.
Like he's got no growth.
I mean, he does. He becomes a little more confident in himself because once he leaves, because Magical Negroes is a paying job. So they ask him like, oh, so what are you going to do next? He's like, I'm going back to the ball of yarn. I was just like, my nigga, you going back to making yarn sculptures?
Right, that don't sell.
I was like, oh, okay, all right. Even David Allen Greer is like, all right, nigga, all right. Yeah, like when they're introduced, he's like, we're saving the damn world. And I'm just like, oh shit, all right, let's see them save the world. Nope. Actually, the status quo of Magical Negroes changes by the end of the movie. And they don't even get into that. And the way David Allen Greer leaves them, where he's like, I can't wait to see what happens to you next. And I'm just like, ain't shit gonna happen with this boy. He's gonna go live the rest of his life with this chick. Because they match each other. Like, that's basically it.
I wanted this. We needed this to be a better movie. Like, I'm not even going to say I wanted this to be a better movie. This could have been a real conversation starter.
Yes.
Right?
And that's what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a smart satire.
Right. And it just turned out to be like a lackluster romantic comedy.
Yeah, and it's not even that, because the romantic comedy is only like, what, the second act of the movie? Before they have to weave everything back together at the end. It just becomes a mishmash of bullshit.
Right. It's got no vision. It's got vision, but no direction.
Yeah, the fact that somebody said, this is their Get Out, and they say it's better than Get Out, like, I am never taking that person's opinion seriously. Like that movie was bullshit.
And you know my feelings on Get Out. Like, I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's a great movie, but like, it's not even the same fucking ballpark, right?
To me, Get Out is my feelings on being black in America. Like, I've told people that and why I feel it's a masterpiece. Like, I've been in situations that the main character Chris has been in. Like, I feel like Chris all the time. Watching this movie, I was just like, bro, no.
And like they sort of touch on it. Like they sort of touch on, like, do they even get into code changing? I didn't even watch long enough.
Briefly, I want to say for like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, but like there's so much ground.
Yeah, because you got a code switch, right? You got a code switch.
Yeah.
Like, you got to talk white in certain circles.
And I mean, and like that's one of the things I'll applaud Get Out for is like the subtlety of the code switch, right?
Yes. Like Get Out is a perfect examination of white liberalism and interracial relationships.
Right.
And what Jordan Peele's trying to say is like, yo, there really is no difference between like the white conservative and the white liberal.
Right. Right.
Which, come to find out, it's fucking true. Because I've been in situations with white liberals where I'm just like, ugh. But yeah, fuck you for this movie. No, 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 no.
No.
I understand why it bricked. Like it had its Sundance premiere, and after Sundance, I understand why Universal's like, I guess we'll just quietly put it out.
And like, here's the thing: their social media presence was immaculate, right? Like they were putting out shit all the time. They were getting fucking the internet hyped for this motherfucker.
Yeah, fucking ugh.
Ugh.
Yuck. All right, well, let's get into trailer talk.
Roll camera and action!
It's time for some trailer talk.
All right, so for the first couple of trailers, I'm gonna do these by myself. First one I want to talk to is It Ends With Us. It's a Blake Lively romantic drama based off a best-selling novel. I watched this trailer last night and I was just like, this is definitely not for me. It's about a woman, and it's weird because this trailer is all edited weird because they're trying to cut close-ups of Jenny Slate out, it looks like, which is wild. Because I was just like, yo, I Jenny Slate has such a unique voice where I hear it. I'm like, that's Jenny Slate. And I Googled, because there's a close-up at the end of the trailer of her, and then that's it. But the beginning of the trailer, it's like, why are they cutting around Jenny Slate? Like, it's okay to have...
Is there any gossip behind it? Like, is there any gossip behind it?
I don't know, man. It's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, we all know Blake Lively's the star of this shit. Like, yo, relax. Like, anyways, this is based off a best-selling novel. It's about a woman who grew up with an abusive dad, and the mom never told her that the dad was abusive because the dad would beat the shit out the mom, and she resents them both. Now, years later, she finds herself in an abusive relationship with this charming man, and now some other dude is trying to save her out of this abusive relationship. That's why it's called It Ends With Us, because the cycle of abuse ends. The dude who directed this, I thought he looked familiar. I'm like, why does he look familiar? Because he stars in it. And this dude's from Jane the Virgin, because I've always seen this dude on ads for that show. So I also transitioned into directing, and now he's going to co-star in this as the dude beating the shit out of Blake Lively. Okay.
Yeah, this sounds like that Jennifer Lopez. Lopez movie. Enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a niche for it, like, someone's gonna watch it.
The novel's a bestseller. And it was such a bestseller that the author wrote a sequel.
I mean,
this was supposed to come out Valentine's Day. Then they pushed it to this month. And then they pushed it one final time to mid-August. So I was like, oh, all right, yeah. We know what to expect here.
Yeah.
Poor Blake Lively. She's a good actress.
Right.
Just
we've guessed it.
Just I feel bad for her because like I like the rhythm section, even though people shit on that movie, and I'm just like, damn, that movie should have been a hit. That was like one of the few movies that come out pre-pandemic.
I still haven't seen that yet. It's on my list, though.
Oh, is it? All right. Well,
yeah.
So now I'm going to move on to the next trailer I'm going to do solo, which I saw this morning. It calls Never Let Go. I'm pretty sure. I might be fucking it up. These titles are so generic and they're running into each other now. I'm just like, okay. It is Halle Berry. She's basically a single mom of 2, and she's telling her kids to never let go. Yeah, never let go, because they have to tie ropes around their waist, and they walk out into the woods, and the woods is like filled with creatures. but the trailer's trying to play it off like maybe it's Halle Berry who's really crazy and the apocalypse didn't happen and these creatures are all in their imagination. I'm like, yo, y'all cannot have it both ways where the kids are being like, everybody's being hunted and stalked by these kids and then having an unstable mother. Like, yo, get the fuck out of here.
It sounds like Bird Box.
Yeah, and the Bird Box was not good.
Yeah, no, well, people seem to like it enough.
Directed by Alexandre Aja, the dude who did Crawl, High Tension, Piranha, 3D.
Huh, we haven't heard from him in a minute. Okay.
Yeah, the last movie he did was Crawl.
Okay, well, it still doesn't sound good, but it might be visually interesting.
I respect Lionsgate for trying something different, because poor Lionsgate, all these studios getting bought and merged and shit. I'm like, yo, how hasn't Lionsgate got bought?
I mean, Saw is unstoppable, so they still got that Saw money.
I guess that's what it is, Saw and Hunger Games. And they keep begging Suzanne Collins. She's like, bitch, I just wrote a prequel. She's like, I'll let you know. I'll call you. Don't call me. I'll call you. So shout out to her though for not fucking cashing in.
Yeah, I mean, like, she has enough money.
Yeah. Like, between the books and the movies, like, yeah.
Right. She's getting pride in your work.
She's getting how many? Let's see. So there's 4 books, 5 movies. Yeah, she's getting 9 residual checks.
Yeah. She's fine. She can take her time. She can.
That's why.
Do it the right way. And
I don't blame her, yo. I get it. That shit is her baby. She don't want to dilute this shit just because Wall Street. That's the problem. Wall Street runs Hollywood, and they're just making dumbass moves right now. She's like, yeah, I ain't been into this shit. Y'all want another Hunger Games? Yo, listen, too bad. You're gonna have to fucking wait, or maybe there might never be more Hunger Games ever again. Fuck you. Good for her.
Yeah, JK should listen to her.
Yeah, JK, she lost her fucking
She's
mind.
on some other shit. Yeah.
But also that's partially WB, because like the movies are literally like what? They just finished 10 years ago. Right?
Something like that, yeah.
Like 10, 12 years ago, and y'all already gonna redo this whole shit over as a TV show? It's just like...
Just fucking... have all these spin-offs.
Like...
Just work on the spin-offs.
We've worked our way through this series twice now. Through books and through movies. I don't want to sit down and watch a fucking another adaptation of this shit. That's gonna take another year. Another, like, what, decade plus.
Right. It's that's, and probably even more because it's going to be a TV show. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I could just read the books again, bro.
Yeah, no,
or watch the movies I liked.
Yeah, like now there's no need for it, and it's greedy. It's capitalism. It's WB.
Yo, listen. Just because y'all couldn't make the Wizarding World work doesn't mean you go back and readapt the source shit. No, you find something that works. Like, y'all had 3 chances with Fantastic Beasts. 3 chances. And y'all let JK have too much power there.
Right.
This shit started retconning itself.
That could have worked. Like, that seriously could have worked.
Oh, yeah, that shit should be Indiana Jones with Newt Scamander instead of the Wizarding War between Dumbledore and his lover. I'm just like, dog, that is 2 different franchises here.
Right.
At play.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into Transformers 1. Apparently everybody's saying see this in 3D because they showed a lot of footage at CinemaCon in 3D.
Okay. I mean, it looks cute.
I don't
like, it looks like
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks, everybody needs a prequel now. So let's give Let's give the story of Optimus before he was Optimus. But it looks fun.
It looks like it might be the second best Transformers movie. One where I could sit down and it looks like it'll be like an hour and a half, and I'll be like, okay, cool, and I'll walk away and I forget about it.
Right.
Other than it'll pop up on streaming and be like, oh yeah, I enjoyed that shit.
Yeah, let me put it on.
Yeah. It's just it's like Rise of the Beast, where I enjoyed it, but I also forgot about it.
Right. I mean, it looks fun. It looks interesting enough. I got nothing else to say. The animation looks cool.
They finally made a Transformers movie for kids, because this shit is fucking for kids. I mean, they're giant alien robots that can transform into vehicles. Like, shit makes no sense. I still want to know, how are they sentient? Like, they're giant robots. Somebody had to build these motherfuckers.
Like, don't they have like books and books and books explaining that shit?
Nigga, explain that in a movie.
Yeah. Like, nah.
I'm not trying to sit through.
Yeah, nah,
listen, I got too much. I'm already too deep in lore as is. I don't want to get into lore of giant walking, talking robots that morph into cars. That shit's, it's cool, but it's stupid. It's dumb as fuck. Like, I don't give that much of a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nostalgia thing. It's just cool, and sometimes you just want cool.
Yeah, but give me 5 minutes in one of these fucking movies that explains the logic behind these things.
Like, I don't even need that. Like, it's giant robots
I need that
transform into other things. Yeah, well, you know,
who built them?
I mean, write that story. You know, sell that to Paramount.
Man, I am hard up for money, so yeah, maybe, but like, yeah, who fucking built them? And where do sparks come from? Those are basically robot souls. Where do robot souls come from?
Man, where do real souls come from? I don't know. That's just, you know, there's got to be a Transformers Bible out there.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, I'll see it in 3D. I like the voice cast. You got Brian Tyree Henry and Chris Hemsworth. Shout out to Chris Hemsworth. He's really trying hard out here, y'all. Yeah. And I'm not even mad at him for it, because, like, yo, there's only so far Thor will take you.
Yeah, and he's not a bad actor at all. Right?
Oh, no.
So, like, and we haven't reached the Chris Pratt level of oversaturation.
Yeah. Now everybody's like saying, yo, they want Chris Pine to go away. And I was just like, why? And then I started reading reviews for his writer directorial debut, which he also stars in, Pool Man. And they're just like, this shit fucking sucks. I was like, damn. I saw Patty Jenkins produced it. I was like, damn. I was like, all right, he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
Yeah, it's fine. Right. It's fine.
Paramount's still trying to force Star Trek 4, and I'm just like, yo, y'all gotta make that happen sooner or later. Like, y'all rebooted this whole thing.
Aging out.
Yeah, y'all rebooted this whole thing because you wanted younger versions, and now all the newer cast in the reboot are now older when they originally stopped making the show.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so like
also, yeah. One more for a proper send off, but also, yeah, I don't. After that, like, they're too old and Anton. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, unless they do what they did with Star Trek Generations, where it's like, all right, maybe 2 different timelines.
Oh, that's been established already.
No, like another different timeline sets up like the new Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. You know what, man? That's what I was thinking. I was like, you know, y'all rebooted this. Why can't we just get a reboot of the Next Generation? Like, I'm pretty sure the alternate versions of these characters exist in that universe, right?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't figured out why they haven't tried to pivot to that yet.
I mean, like, they might be working on it. I don't know. And I don't know what's going on in the lab.
Yeah. Anyways, Chris Hemsworth, shout out to you, my guy. We're going to talk about you in the main review. So let's move on to our final trailer, which is Megalopolis, premiered at Cannes. And just as I expected, everybody fucking hated it. And I was like, yeah, of course. I was like, if y'all went in expecting this shit to make sense, Francis Ford Coppola has not made sense since The
years.
Rainmaker.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I don't
Have
know
you
what
seen
y'all
Twixt?
expected. Yeah,
Right.
Twix,
Like all
Youth Without Youth,
Right.
Tetro. Movies I enjoy, but also I understand, like, oh yeah, this shit don't make sense, but it's just cool to just soak in the vibes and just watch great actors give performances.
Yeah, he's in his auteur phase.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like the visuals, look, for being self-funded, the shit looks very impressive. Like super impressive.
I mean, $120 million, I would hope so. I ain't like that's cheap.
Right. But like $120 million of nothing but like digital sets and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, doesn't go as far as you would think.
Oh yeah, listen, if they were able to pull off a Dune Part 1 for 160, then yeah, like he could pull off Megalopolis for 120. Come on, man. It's when you get to 200 million, it's when people seem to really stumble over themselves and making this shit look good.
Right.
Which
Fair
you
enough.
would think the higher the budget, the better the production value. But I mean, I guess not.
There's more people just to pay, and more people to pay more than they should be making.
IMAX has straight up said they're committed to showing this movie as soon as it gets a distributor. They're like, yeah, listen, we are trying to go. Not only do we want to be the brand for big Hollywood movies, but we want to be the brand for auteur. So like when an auteur filmmaker has us in mind, we want to stick with them over something like Smurfs 8. And I was just like, yeah,
Right.
look, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Listen, after Oppenheimer last year, like, yeah, of course, like,
They know where their money is.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why. I guess that's why they gave Ryan Coogler an IMAX camera to shoot next year. He's shooting on IMAX film for his Blade movie. I mean, I should stop calling it that because it's not Blade, but I mean it is.
But
Blade.
it's
Blade.
It's not Blade, but it's Blade. His vampire movie. That's not Blade.
David Robert Mitchell is shooting a time travel dinosaur movie with Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway on IMAX film as well right now.
Okay.
$80 million. I was like, damn, bro, that's it for a movie that has that high of a concept. Like, I hope it follows and not Under the Silver Lake. That's all I'm gonna say.
I still haven't seen Under the Silver Lake. I had no interest. It seemed boring.
Yeah. Imagine Inherent Vice, except everything that makes Inherent Vice good. It's that.
It's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, so IMAX is really fucking giving their cameras out to like, oh, you're a filmmaker who's respected? Yeah, if you want, it's there for you. And they're like, oh, word? Take it and shoot it. Like Ryan Coogler's like, I don't have this IMAX camera for long, so we're getting all the IMAX stuff done now. And then I'm following in Nolan's footsteps, so the rest of the movie will be shot in 70. I was like, oh shit, they're pulling what Jordan did for Nope, because Nope did that too. It was shot in IMAX, and then what they wasn't in IMAX was in 70 millimeter.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, this is the trend now. Like it's getting back to making film feel special, making movies feel special.
They phased out film to save money, and I remember when we first got those digital projectors, I was like, damn, this shit picture's clear as fuck. And now we're just going back to film because it's like two things that are making money right now: film prints and large format theaters.
Yeah,
almost like you guys shouldn't have done away with this shit in the first place.
Like, what do they say? Everything old is new again. Like it's the same thing. Like if it wasn't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, look, and for me, it's a movie by movie basis, right? Like, I'm not going to judge every single movie on whether they should be shooting film or digital. Because some movies, I'm like, yeah, shoot that shit digital, bro. Like, there's no reason for you to shoot on film. And some movies, I'm like, yeah, nigga, shoot on film. Because, like,
right.
But back to Megalopolis. I'm excited to see it. It got distributors for overseas distribution, but no domestic distribution. I'm like, A24 and Neon, y'all are right there. Like, this would fit perfectly in your wheelhouse, because he showed it to exhibitors back in March, and all the exhibitors walked out like, yeah, we can't put this fucking movie out. Studios were just like, yo, we can't. We would make no money off of this. And I'm like, dude, all you're gonna do is pay for marketing and pay for distribution. Like, that is a small fraction of your money. Motherfucker financed it himself. And for this movie to look as polished as it does,
like, if they sold it right, they like, this could be, I'm not gonna say a blockbuster, but like, it could make lots and lots of fucking money if they sold the concept right.
I'm saying, man, and I'm just like, yo, do it as a can't miss, because this trailer is amazing. Where I'm just this is fucking wild. If you sell it as like a Francis Ford Coppola IMAX blockbuster, you'll make your money. He won't make his 120 back, but as far as distribution and marketing, yeah, probably. And you don't even have to do marketing that hard.
I mean, like, this is Francis Ford Coppola doing hard sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like
IMAX level sci-fi, because this shit has only... Cannes is the first time it's screened on a normal screen. He's been screening it in IMAX. So at IMAX headquarters, and then the big City Walk IMAX in LA. Like, he's been showing it there. And I'm just like, bro, like, y'all motherfuckers just need to give up the ghost and just put the shit out. Like, come on. It's not like it could do any worse than Madam Web, Argyle, The Fall Guy. What else bricked?
I mean, honestly,
it's a lot.
Like it's that's a whole entire episode in itself, listing all of the things that have bricked in the last 6 months.
So like, it ain't like the bar is that high.
Right. Like they distribute it, they're gonna make some money. They'll be fine.
God damn, y'all Wall Street niggas just killed this industry and they're still killing it.
Well,
Anyways, wait, go ahead.
No, this is they refuse to learn from their mistakes, right? Like,
yo, because last night I saw a article saying that I'm gonna pull it up real quick, it's basically Disney's turning one of their restaurants into a movie. I shit you not, Jeff.
Like a Disney World restaurant into a fucking movie?
So there is an exclusive restaurant in Disneyland, California, that's only for VIPs and people who are exclusive and celebrities. It's called Club 33. The dude who wrote Goosebumps is writing it, and Sean Levy is producing it. It's going to be called Club 33 after the restaurant. I was just like, so Disney's making a whole ass movie off their VIP only exclusive restaurant.
So they couldn't make the Haunted Mansion work. Right? Like
twice
they failed on the Haunted Mansion. But a restaurant that only diehard Disney fans can get into, or celebrities, you think that's going to be accessible for a movie that everybody's going to want to see and that you're going to make a franchise out of?
Dog, y'all couldn't make... What?
I said, get the fuck out of here with that.
Dog, y'all couldn't even make, what's it called work? The Marvels or Ant-Man. Like, Ant-Man opened big, and then that was it. After its opening weekend, that shit fucking fell off the face of the earth.
Right? Like, I mean, Jungle Cruise barely made.
Yeah, I'll give that a pass, because that was us coming out of the pandemic, and that was also like, oh yeah, rent it for $30 or go see it in theaters.
Right. Oh, I forgot they were pulling that shit back then.
Yeah. I was like, bitch, I pay for Disney Plus. Why the fuck do I gotta pay for shit?
Right.
I'll
Yeah,
just
I
wait
forgot all about that
I'll
shit.
just wait the 6 months and see it later. Fuck you. Uh,
Uh,
yeah, man. I hope this gets treated like New Mutants. This fucking Club 33.
you mean pushed back so far that everyone forgets about it, and then like it comes out and quickly becomes hated.
There's a
You mean
movie
that?
I can't remember, Jeff. There's a movie that hasn't come out yet, and by the time it comes out, the trailer will have been like 3 years old, and I'm just like, oh, this is New Mutants over again. I can't remember the movie, but I was like, damn, we talked about this trailer like mad long ago,
Really? I
and
can't
it's
remember
still
what
not
it
coming
was.
out until like next year, and I'm like, bro, y'all gonna treat it like New Mutants, where Disney, where they put out that trailer, everybody's just like, yeah, this is exactly what we thought it was, and then
Right.
during the pandemic, they're like, Unhinged, right? See Russell Crowe's Unhinged, and then 3 weeks later, New Mutants. Disney's like, yo, this is the perfect time to offload this shit, when nobody can see it and nobody wants to see it.
Oh man, have you seen New Mutants?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it on HBO Max.
Yeah, I passed by it 15 times. I was like, nah, I'm cool.
My thing, I was like, damn, this is the best cut of this motherfucker. Because that went through like 4 different cuts, and Josh Boone's original cut is what got released. And I was just like,
Right.
dog, this is the best cut, like the director's cut, the unfiltered director's cut. Because there's the director's cut, the studio cut, and then a hybrid between the studio and the director's cut. And all of them tested poorly, but the one that tested best was Josh Boone's director's cut.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, damn, those scores must have been fucking low for the studio not to pull a Suicide Squad.
Oh man.
That's some
I
wild
feel
shit. Yo, they did that shit to David Ayer just because they're like, oh, we want, in response to BVS, and in response because people like the trailer. And I was just
Right.
like, y'all niggas are stupid. Cause that, I remember, Jeff, that first trailer they put out of Comic-Con, I was like, dog, this is a completely different fucking movie than what y'all released.
Right. Like, I think they should release the Ayers cut.
Oh
Like,
yeah, at this point.
I'm not behind like the Snyder cut, whatever like that. Even though it helped launch this show, we didn't need that. We need an Ayers cut.
Yeah, because here's the thing, Justice League, as much as they fucked Zack over on that, the story's still the same basic story. It's just told better and longer. It's still a shit movie.
Right.
But at least there's differences between Ayers' cut and then the theatrical cut. Like, yo, fucking the fact that they made Joker and Harley have a loving relationship when it wasn't supposed to be, I was like, so the original cut of Suicide Squad would flow directly better into Birds of Prey more.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, especially since Joker was the main antagonist. Like, apparently Jared Leto said there's like 45 minutes worth of story with his character gone. Like, the Suicide Squad teams up to fight the Joker at the end.
Yeah, that's a much better movie than what we got. Much better. Yeah, so let's release the Ayers cut.
So, hopefully you'll find a distributor here, because they marked off like a bunch of weeks in October. IMAX did for them, and I'm just like, somebody's got to pick this up. Like Amazon, like it's gonna be no sweat off your back for y'all to be like, all right, play exclusively in IMAX for like 3 weeks, and then 2 weeks later it'll be on Prime for like 5 months before we start farming it out to other streaming services.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have any doubt that this movie's going to get out in the world because there's just been so much press about it.
Also, look,
Yeah.
this seems like a movie for me. Like, I know I'm gonna see it and I'll probably like it, and I'll be like, yeah, you don't go see it.
Right.
Absolutely not. But I'm gonna go see it again.
Right, just like Matrix Revolutions, like that's
Resurrections.
Resurrection,
Yeah, nigga. Fucking.
We knew people were gonna hate it.
Oh, hell yeah.
But it was super good.
Hell yeah. Like, the fact that y'all niggas is mad out of cans, I'm just like, dog, like, we knew the shit wasn't gonna make sense. Even Giancarlo Esposito was like, yeah, I had no idea what we were doing the whole time, but now I get it. I fully don't understand it, but I get it.
He gets the madness.
Yeah.
He gets why.
He gets the message, most importantly. For those of you wondering, we might as well just say, it's about an architect and I think it's the mayor of Megalopolis, and they have colliding ideologies, and it creates like a fissure in this whole utopian society.
Right. I mean, and that's as concise a description as you're gonna get. Just watch the trailer, and you'll see that it's far, far more.
Adam Driver is the architect.
Who's playing the mayor?
I think it's Giancarlo, but this cast is stacked. Like, there's mad motherfuckers in this.
Yeah, everybody wants to work with Coppola.
Yeah, man. Like, Aubrey Plaza is like, yo, I'm so glad I did this movie. I'm excited about it. I love it. And I'm like, yeah, man, like, look, good. Like, all these motherfuckers in this movie, I'm glad they're like, yeah, like, I did a Francis Ford Coppola movie.
Yeah, they put that on their CV.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's get into our main review.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurbs feature film review.
Alright, let's start with the IMAX documentary, Blue Angels. I would say the best thing about this movie is it's really cool seeing an entire movie in IMAX take up that entire screen. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Like, I remember going to, like, Hubble telescope, IMAX as a kid, and just being like, or those IMAX documentaries you went on school trips to see.
Right.
That's what I felt like. However, this shit is it's poorly put together. I'm gonna say that right now, because if we watched this on Amazon Prime, I would have turned it off like 30 minutes in.
Yeah, like, the only reason to actually go to watch this is to experience it in IMAX, because it's shot really fucking well, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that score is too much throughout, like that hard rock light bullshit, new metal
Hans
bullshit.
Zimmer, baby.
Yeah, like that's too much. Like, it's
you fell
honestly,
asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep. It's boring, honestly.
It's not structured well. I'll say that much. Like, the problem is the stuff you want to see, they don't go into it too much. Like, the training and what it takes for them to do this, I'm like, more. And then they just skip over so much of it and go straight into the tour. And then during the tour, they even stop, like, to start talking about other shit. And I'm just like, y'all, nah.
Yeah.
It is structured very poorly.
Yeah, is disjointed. Like you said, it was cool when we saw, like, how precise they have to be, and the training and everything like that. But then, like you said, there are these lulls, and that's when I got sleepy.
They didn't. The stuff that they should have dug in deeper more, they don't. It's so weird because you were asleep for this, but they had a meeting, and the entire meeting takes place behind closed doors. So they're filming the door.
Right.
And once the meeting's over, everybody's walking out, and one dude didn't realize that there was a camera still shooting. So he walks out, and he looks at the camera and stops, and he freezes for a second. He starts walking back a little bit, and then he finally just walks out the room and off camera. And I'm just like, damn. Y'all left that shit in.
Yeah.
Y'all left that shit in.
I mean, I guess they did that for comedic effect. I don't fucking know.
That's sloppy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the aerial shit in this, amazing. Like, all that shit in IMAX, because we saw this on the 8-story IMAX. Right. So this, again, to see a movie, an entire fucking movie shot on the 8-story, it's staggering. But it's y'all, this is a great subject and great subject matter, and y'all don't execute it at all. Also, like, the black pilot, they cover all the pilots for like a good 10 minutes. Except for him. Yeah. Some of them get get a full arc. Like there's a couple of them they get like a full arc, but like the rest of them they get like 10 minutes. He gets like 5
Right.
briefly.
Yeah.
And I was just
Yeah.
like, "Oh wow, okay."
Like the black Blue Angels pilot doesn't get more shine. Like everyone always thinks like that's some white people shit.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, he had a great story because he only gets 5 minutes. He's like, "Yeah, my grandpa was a Tuskegee airman, and my dad took me to the Tuskegee museum all the time, and it really had an effect on me. And I joined the Navy, and lo and behold, like I auditioned, and on my first audition, I got in to be a Blue Angel, and they make it known how hard it is,
right,
to be a Blue Angel. Like people audition." Like throughout their entire career, like they will tell them like try again next year, and they will keep. And it's just like, damn, bro, like y'all couldn't have gotten. And then during the air show too, because that's the part where you woke up that's my other problem. I'm like, yo, this mix could be louder and should be louder. This is IMAX.
Right.
That's the only loud part is when the jet flies overhead for that one time. Otherwise, this is a quiet movie. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
It's about to be Memorial Day. This is a take your grandfather to the movies movie.
Oh no, this is done.
Oh,
it's
done?
only in IMAX for a week,
But
and then the first week of June it'll hit Prime, Amazon Prime.
All right, well, never mind. Wow, that is just
Furiosa, baby, Furiosa's grabbing those IMAX screens.
Yeah, I guess.
Because
But
Apes, it's sharing IMAX this for 1 week with Apes. Yeah,
but
man.
It is a grandfather movie. It is a granddad movie, though. It's like a documentary that, if your dad or granddad likes the History Channel or Modern Marvels or any of that shit, they'll dig this.
Yeah, because for an hour and a half, it is fucking long. Also, like to get into like the first female pilot in like the last 15 minutes of the movie, like one of the newbies is one of the first female Blue Angels, and I was like, you're only gonna give this chick 15 minutes? That's it? Yeah. I was okay, all right.
There are great stories in this. They're just not told.
Oh no, hell no. They rather covered the most boring shit possible. Like this is there. You see documentaries, and the best documentaries are structured like a movie, where it's a 3-act structure. It takes you through a journey. And at the end of this, I don't think I gained anything watching it other than how hard it is to do this shit and how hard it is to get into the Blue Angels. Like my favorite part of this shit was watching the newbies go through G-Force training, and you see them pass out during G-Force training because they have to hit 7 Gs and stay awake during 7 Gs.
Right. Yeah. This could have been easily a TV show.
Or I saw another IMAX documentary early this year, much better. You know why? Because it was 40 minutes. Deep Sky. And it was really cool, really informative, 40 minutes. So whenever you started getting bored, it was over.
Yeah.
This probably should have been like 40, 50 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it's clocking in, what, an hour and 24? Hour and a half? Yeah. Yeah.
It's exactly 1:30.
Yeah, it's too much.
So look, I expected more from the talent behind it. The fact that Glenn Powell really pushed this and is a producer. JJ is a producer and has Bad Robot, his company logo in front of it. I mean, he's been doing interviews for this, like, hey man, I'm making a new movie, like we're doing this. And because they work together, because Glenn Powell and JJ work together on this documentary, Glenn's gonna star in JJ's new movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like another sci-fi thriller.
All right, that's fine. I guess that's good.
But like I don't see anything that was especially the commercial at the beginning where they try to tug on your heartstrings, like support the wounded veterans. They really need your help, and I'm just like, bitch, the government can't even help me. Help me, nigga. Like that sucks for them, but they got government assistance.
Yeah, I think they put those commercials at the beginning of all military documentaries. Now I think it's just a given.
Because they uploaded that to the IMAX channel last night, and I was like, okay,
man, that's fine. It was fine. I fell asleep, but the parts I was up for were kind of cool.
Yo, listen, that
Yeah.
the coffee and the icy, I was wired off of caffeine and sugar.
Yeah.
I was
I,
like, damn, I should have brought that hashy though.
I was too stuffed off that burger to put anything else in me.
Yeah, dog, I should have brought the hashy. I would have enjoyed it a little more.
Well.
I could say the only good thing about this, they showed 4 previews. I was like, oh, thank God. Once the trailer ended, the trailer reel ended, I was like, thank Christ. Let's go back to that, like 3-4 trailers.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. You know, I'd like a movie to start within 15 minutes of its original showtime, right? Instead of like the half hour that you know it's going to take.
Yeah, because when dude pulled out his phone as soon as the IMAX, as soon as, it goes to that AMC,
Right.
Please, dude pulled his phone out to check the time. It was only 10 minutes after showtime. I was like, my God.
Right. Word? Yeah.
I was just like, I feel like a king. So anyways, it'll be on Amazon Prime, and I guarantee you, if you try to watch it, you'll get 30 minutes in and be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And turn it off, because the whole part of seeing this is seeing it in IMAX.
Right.
And trust me, if we're saying this shit and we saw it in IMAX, then
like I can only imagine, like
yeah,
how lackluster it's going to be on TV.
So salute the Blue Angels. Thank you guys.
Well, there you go.
For
Thank
all
your
your
service.
deaths and all the people who died doing this shit and all the people who keep doing it. Anyway, thank you. But yeah, sorry. Y'all need a better documentary. Sorry.
Yeah.
Y'all waited 2 years to capitalize off of Top Gun, and it just didn't work. All right. I'm going to move into a review of the Garfield movie. I'm not mad at it. I'm really not. It's just because, like, it's for kids. Like, is it a good movie? No. But, like, this is one of the few kids movies where I'm just like, yeah, it's for kids, man. It didn't make me mad like Super Mario, where I was just like, no effort or thought went into this motherfucker.
Right. That was a cash grab. But like no one expected anything from the Garfield movie, right? Like no one.
It's better than the live action joints.
Yeah, I don't know how many Garfield purists there are out there.
It made me nostalgic for that show that I used to watch as a kid, Garfield and Friends.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that's what I like that show, because this movie I was just like, Garfield usually has super indifference towards Jim, and in this one, this nigga actually cares about him. Like when he falls asleep at work working at his desk, he pushes the chair on the bed to the bed and pushes him on the bed and throws a blanket on him. I'm like, yo, Garfield don't care about Jim that much.
Right. Like Garfield wouldn't do that unless it was a means to an end.
Yeah.
Right? Like
and then Odie's like his best friend and partner in crime. And I'm like, yo, he hated Odie.
Like Odie was his fall guy.
Yeah. Oh, I love Odie though. Odie's my favorite character because Odie, this movie breaks the fourth wall. Like Garfield talks directly to us and Odie looks at us. And every time some shit would go down, Odie would look at the camera like, God damn, this nigga again. This guy, God damn. Like Odie kept every time something or Garfield would say something, Odie would just roll his eyes like, Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, I mean, at least they changed the Odie character up because usually he was just a dumb shit.
Yeah, nah. Odie's the most competent character in this fucking movie.
All right. Look, when it comes on whatever streaming service in 2 weeks,
it'll do fine. It'll do fine. I think enough people liked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it is what it is. They gave me a little Garfield squishy toy. And I was just like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I gave it to somebody and they're like, oh, cool, I could put this on my desk. I was like, yeah, I get it. Yeah. You put random little toys on your desk. So, when you got some downtime, you just pick it up, squeeze it, or play with it a little bit before you get back to work. Because sometimes, I've worked at a desk job before, and sometimes you just zone out and you're like, you grab a toy that you have on your desk and start fucking with it.
Yeah, you got to distract yourself from the mundanity of office life. So,
I'm not mad at this. Jim is in it a lot less than I thought he would be. My biggest problem with this is like all the Garfield characters just come out of nowhere at the end when they throw a party. The brown cat that loves Garfield just randomly is there, and Garfield's like, "Get away from me." I don't even know what I forget what that character's name is. Or the gray cat. She's gray.
Normal.
Okay,
right?
yeah. Liz shows up randomly, and I'm like, what the fuck is Liz doing here? And for those of you who don't know, Liz is Jim's girlfriend. She's a nurse. Like, why the fuck is Liz here? Like, she pops up, and Jim's so surprised. Like, he's like, a woman in my house. What?
So they never established any of these characters throughout, like not even.
No, they just all the characters in Garfield canon pop up for like a cameo at this party that they're throwing at the end. Where I'm just like, what the fuck?
But what kid? Because this is aimed towards kids. What kid is going to look at that and know that they should be excited about seeing this character?
I don't know. I'll say this. That's the only good thing about the live action Garfield is that Jennifer Love Hewitt played Liz. Because, Jennifer Love Hewitt, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Otherwise, like, yeah. Look, again, I'm not mad at it. Because, like, whenever they turn cartoons into live action, it always ends up being some fucking goddamn garbage. And this is, it's not garbage, but it's not good.
Right. It's a fine movie. It's absolutely.
It is. They always do these kids movies where the long lost father comes back. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you've seen it once, you've seen it twice, and you've seen it 5 times.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah. So the Garfield movie, I would not be surprised if this motherfucker got a sequel.
Oh, I'm sure they're already working on it.
I will say, please stop casting Chris Pratt, bro. Everybody was like, even Samuel L. Jackson as Garfield's dad, I was cool with. Like, all the voice acting in this movie, I had no problems with, except for Chris Pratt, because I'm just like, bro, he adds nothing to Garfield.
He's not a good voice actor. Like, he just sounds like Chris Pratt, and Chris Pratt just sounds like any other dude.
Yes. So that's the Garfield movie. Let's move on now to our spoiler review for Furiosa. It's cool that this movie opens right away. First, before we get into this review, I'm gonna edit this person's name out. But whenever I see this person's always the first person to see movies, and every time this person says, "Oh, I love this movie," everybody always tweet, "Hey, somebody else besides," and I'm gonna bleep this out. Anybody else besides has seen this movie? Has anybody else? And I went on Letterboxd, right? And I saw her review. I'm going to edit out her name again, but she gave it 2 stars. Gave it Letterboxd 2 stars. Says, really picks up, but starts super slow. I was like, the fuck is wrong with you? I was going through her Letterboxd history, Jeff.
Right.
You know what she gave Argyle?
5, like the top score, whatever.
3.5. And said it was super fun, super well done. I was just like, nigga, I was bored out of my mind during Argyle. I was actively angry. Yo, I was just like, how did she get the clout that she got? Because every time she sees something and somebody posts it and like, we're like, oh, cool, people started seeing this movie. Let's see what the reactions are. Right. She's always the first person. And everybody's just like, has anybody else seen this?
Yeah, I don't know who this chick is. But it starts off slow. Like, it starts in the first fucking 2 minutes, gets the action going.
She gets kidnapped. Like, Furiosa gets kidnapped within the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Right. And it's an extended chase where her mom is
trying to get her back. Yeah.
It's just playing fucking
cat and mouse.
Yeah, just sniping motherfuckers.
Like, yo, like the first 10 minutes are awesome. And like the Mentis's intro, her trying to escape, their escape, like the whole, she's using, Furiosa's mom uses a fucking slingshot to kill people, bro.
Right. Like, I don't understand how you say how she said this was a slow start. It actually never lets up. It really doesn't.
That is some wild Australian shit, too, to use a slingshot.
Yeah, it's fucking criminals.
I love how George Miller don't give a fuck either, because that's how the movie starts, is a fucking aerial shot of the continent of Australia.
Yeah.
Also, stop, before we get into it, stop calling this shit a reboot. Like, I saw somebody who's like, yeah, this is a reboot prequel to the reboot. And I'm just like,
that's stupid.
Yeah, that makes no fucking sense. And also, Fury Road's not a reboot. I mean, it can be, quote unquote a reboot, but it's technically not.
Right. And like this, for one thing, Furiosa was written before fucking
Fury
Road.
Road.
But how can it be a reboot prequel when it leads directly into the movie it's supposed to, which isn't a reboot? They just recast, like, because it's been 10 years.
He had the idea for Fury Road, and the original idea for Fury Road was, it was always a chase movie, but the original idea was, it was a chase movie where Max is who accepts a job from a warlord and is trying to deliver this package to this place. And by the end of the movie, you find out that the package was a vial of sperm.
Oh, shit.
That's the original Fury Road.
Okay.
And then once he started adding Furiosa in to Fury Road, he put Fury Road to the side and wrote this.
Right.
So he worked on 3 movies concurrently, because the other movie he worked on during both Furiosa and Fury Road it's titled Mad Max: The Wasteland.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So like, let's stop it right there with the bullshittery.
Like off the rip, Furiosa's taken from the Green Place, which it's wild because there's dudes living there. It's like a female ran oasis where they have fruit, water, but there are men there because they have children, and it's like the men in this society. They seem like they're there to, provide sperm for kids, and then also provide history, because they seem like they're just reciting history.
Right.
Well, so Furiosa gets taken, brought to Dementis by his droogs, his henchmen. Dementis' intro is fucking nuts. I loved it.
Well, this is actually, Dementis is the best villain in Mad Max lore, right?
Okay, so we disagree there.
I would say because he has more of a story, right?
Right.
Than any of the other villains. And I think that's what makes him the best to me.
For me, it's still Immortan Joe, because Immortan Joe is just a piece of shit.
Right.
And like, I hated him more here, because the first thing, we're just skipping ahead. We'll come back to this, but like the first thing he says when he sees Furiosa is like, "Oh, you could be one of my wives when you get older." I'm like, bro, that's a fucking 5-year-old kid. And the first thing you're thinking about is like, yo, so as soon as you turn 20, I'm going to fuck you.
Hey, at least he waited. Unlike fucking Rictus. That fucking rapist piece of shit.
It was weird. We'll get to that, because that whole shit is weird. But yeah. Fucking the first thing Dementis thinks of when he sees Furiosa is, "Oh, I have a daughter now."
Right.
That shit is funny.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, Dementis is the most thought out villain, and also like I think more brutal than any of the other ones, right?
I think he's just as brutal as Toe Cutter and Lord Humongous, because those two, they're fucking scumbags. Like Toe Cutter and his gang, they're basically they're basically like the Droogs from Clockwork Orange, where they just go around, kill and rape people. Lord Humongous, same thing. He just goes around killing and raping. Like, I rewatching the first two, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there's rape in this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it can be an Australian film without rape. Like,
right, but at least it wasn't lecherous. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Because in the second one, when it happens in the second one, the gyrocopter is watching from afar, and when she's being brutalized, you see it cuts to him, and he puts his periscope down, or telescope. What are those things called?
Telescope, periscope.
Yeah, he puts it down, and he's just like, you see him about to start crying. I was like, damn, bro, that broke your soul. Which is funny, because as soon as he gets into the camp to start helping these people escape Lord Humongous, he sees the blonde chick, and he's like, yo, so we're together now. And I was just like, god damn, nigga, all
right. But yeah, back to this. Like it's, I'm not going to say it's better than than Fury Road because great thing about Fury Road is it was mostly practical, right?
Right. This is the second best Mad Max movie in my opinion.
Definitely,
Furiosa.
100%. It is a great companion.
I really do fuck with the performances, especially that this movie takes its time. Because any other movie would rush to get to Anya Taylor-Joy because she's a movie star. That's how the movie's being advertised as her, and she don't show up till like the second act. Like the first act, it's all Furiosa as a child, and you get to know just the wasteland in this. It's cool. It's like Dementis is such a fuck up. Like I hate him. He's a piece of shit. He's one of the biggest pieces of shit like this series has had. He recruits people into his gang just by ambushing them, killing them, and then leaving a few of them alive. And it's just like, so we could kill you. You could come work for me. And they're like, all right, well, you know.
Yeah. Dementis gives off big Charlie Manson vibes, right? Because Charlie Manson, he collected these wayward people and told them they were all family and whatever like that. But he couldn't keep up the facade, right? That's where all the killings and shit happen. And we see that when Dementis takes over Gastown. You know?
Yeah.
That like the Emperor has no clothes.
Oh no. Even during the negotiations, because eventually Dementis shows up at the Citadel, is like, yeah, so I run this shit now. And on some real gangster shit, and Morton Joe's like, all right, well, pick a war boy. All right, I picked that war boy. War boy grabs two of those bombs and jumps right into the crowd and blows up like a bunch of bikers. And he's just like, any one of these boys are willing to go to Valhalla for me. So if you think you're getting in, you got another thing coming. And he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. All y'all go to Valhalla, and you just see the war boys just wreaking havoc. And what's his face? Dementis is like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. And so what does he do? He takes over Gastown. I'm not gonna lie, the Gastown siege was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like the action set pieces in this movie are spectacular. Even the weakest ones are still better than most of the shit you've seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah, because Dementis, the one thing I do love is like once he takes over Gastown and threatens to blow up Gastown, he can't even properly negotiate.
Right.
Because anybody else making those concessions, I've been like, nah, like I'm gonna blow this shit up and then I'm just gonna kill y'all.
Right.
Like just give me what I want.
Yeah.
Like immediately he loses the organic mechanic and Furiosa in negotiations and gets half of what he asked for.
Right. I mean, he's not smart, but he's charming. And like the thing about this character is you forget that it's Chris Hemsworth 15 minutes in, right? Like, I say what you will about Chris Hemsworth, he really embodied this role. Like he lived it.
I mean, there was a Q&A after this screening, and you could tell this motherfucker cared. Yeah, and he points it out. He said it. He's like, America has Star Wars, Britain has Harry Potter, Australia has Mad Max. And I just thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, like that's the only like big franchise out of Australia. It's not one of Australia has other big movies, but as far as like worldwide franchises, it's just this.
Yeah, like name another Australian franchise movie. Crocodile Dundee.
Okay, yeah.
They got the two.
Yeah,
that's it.
All right, yeah. And we can't even count that because that shit is like half that shit takes place in New York.
Right, correct. Yeah, so like
but yeah, I really fuck with, and it's 15. I didn't even realize it's 15 minutes the first time I watched it. But that 15-minute chase is the best fucking action sequence I've ever seen put to film, hands down.
Your asshole is clenched this whole entire time. When Praetorian Jack is driving the tanker. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Nigga, I swear to God, the first time because I saw this twice, and the first time I saw it when they started windsurfing, I sat up like, yo, nah. I sat up. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Like, this shit is wild. Say, like, this movie, there are things in it that you have never seen before.
Yo, the fucking the motorcycle not Chris Hemsworth's motorcycle chariot that he rides around. That shit's awesome.
Right.
I was like, this is why I love Mad Max, because you could only get away with doing shit like that in this.
Right.
But I'm talking about the other motorcycle chariot during that chase that kept going under the war rig. I was just like, that is hard. It's all chromed out and shit. Speaking of, God damn it, man, that war rig. I was like, oh man, my heart was broken when that war rig was destroyed, because that is my favorite Mad Max vehicle.
Yeah, no, I mean,
first War Rig. We'll call it War Rig 1, because War Rig 2 is a janky piece of shit compared to War Rig 1.
Oh, you know, it's fucking fallout from how this movie ends. You know, we had a War Rig 2.
War Rig 1 is literally shiny and chrome, and it's like made out of titanium. They etched all this art into it and shit, so it looks all fucking regal.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. The shit goes faster than War Rig 2. I was just like, God damn it, man. Y'all destroyed this shit. And it had all types of booby traps and shit in it, where I was just like, this is hot.
Booby traps, like the mechanics are actually underneath it, like ready to repair shit. Like it's hot.
Shout out to Anya Taylor-Joy, because this is what I meant now that you've seen it. Now you know what I was saying in the last episode in the spoiler-free shit, where I was just like, yo, this is Once Upon a Time in the West, just because it's on a bigger scale. It spans years. It's an epic. But also, like Leone, most of these performances are in the face, especially Furiosa. She don't talk that much because the performance is all in the face. And shout out to Anya Taylor-Joy, because that's not easy at all. That's why when people try to shit on like Charles Bronson or Clint Eastwood, I'm like, those motherfuckers had to act with their face, which is much harder than actually doing some big dramatic performance.
Right. You have to embody emotion instead of remembering lines. So, you know,
Maybe that's why I like Tenet much more too, because a lot of that shit is in John David's face throughout the movie.
I feel that. I get you with that. But yeah, no, everybody fucking killed it in here. There's no weak steps when it comes to the acting. It's fucking fun. It's exciting. It's heartbreaking.
Let's get to Rictus, though. That shit was weird, though, that he was obsessed with little girl Furiosa. I'm like, they never say why either. I find it funny that his brother Erectus, when she runs off the first time, his brother Erectus just turns around and looks at him and starts shaking his head like, fucking up, man.
Yeah, because he's a child rapist. Yeah, like he's a molester.
Where is Erectus?
You mean Scrotus?
Scrotus. Where's Scrotus?
I don't know.
During Fury Road, because he doesn't die.
Right.
And they
don't really mention him in Fury Road.
No, he's like nowhere to be found.
So I have no fucking clue. Maybe that's another story. That's another movie.
Fucking the second best action scene is when they are trapped in the bullet farm. Yeah. And Furiosa has to go. Like, that whole sequence is fucking crazy. Amazing.
It's fucking crazy.
I was just like, it broke my heart seeing the war rig destroyed like that, but I was so happy for them. I was like, yo, like, you're sitting there. I'm like, both times I've seen this, I'm just like, oh, Furiosa, get him. Please help him escape. Help him escape.
And like that's a testament to this movie, that you actually fucking care about these characters. And even though, like, honestly, Praetorian Jack, we only get to him in chapter 3.
Right. He's in the movie for about like 20 minutes and he makes an impression.
Right.
I wish Yahya could have worked something out and he could have did that, because originally that was Yahya, and Yahya Abdul Mateen had to drop out due to scheduling issues. And I'm like, God damn. But Tom Burke kills it. And they dress Tom up to look exactly like Mel and Mad Max. And I was just like, dog, that is a splitting image between the pants and the jacket and the haircut. I'm like, bro, he looks exactly like Mel from Mad Max. I was just like, damn, if we could go back in time, I'd tell him like, don't cast Tom Hardy, cast Tom Burke. Probably Tom Burke probably would have been much easier to work with too, because like I love how during the Q&A, George Miller just nonchalantly, just in the most casual way possible, was like, "Yeah, Tom didn't want to do the movie. Like he just sat in his trailer all day, and I still don't know what that was about." I felt bad for Charlize because she was doing all this heavy work covered in sand, and Tom just wouldn't come out of his trailer. I was like, I don't know, maybe stop casting Tom Hardy in difficult roles, because he punched out Inarritu on the set of The Revenant, because The Revenant was also a hard shoot because they went to the middle of nowhere in harsh conditions to make that movie. And even Leonardo DiCaprio had to pull Tom Hardy aside, and he's like, "I'm a fucking vegan. I'm out here crawling in snow and shit, eating fucking raw bison liver." He's like, "Do you understand what that does to me as a vegan? That I'm eating raw bison liver, and you can't just shut up and do this shit?"
And like, here's the thing.
In Tom Hardy's defense, though, half the crew did walk out on The Revenant.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. But
I mean, I also heard Inarritu was an asshole on that set. But I mean, look, if there's going to be, if you're going to the middle of nowhere in harsh conditions, maybe Tom, don't sign on for it.
Right. But yeah, getting back to this, I thoroughly love this movie, and I hope everyone goes out to see it. That's the thing.
And they shot in the desert, because at the end it does say like shot on location in the Namibia desert. They went to the same places they shot Fury Road.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm gonna knock it for, and it's not even really a knock, is that it is more VFX in this than in Fury Road, but it is bigger, right? You couldn't get away with this shit building practical.
Right. I mean, also, it's 9 years later. I understand he probably learned a lot making Fury Road. Like, I feel like everybody learned a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's one of the most notorious shoots ever. I remember, like, 5 years before Fury Road came out, we were hearing stories, and I'm like, this movie's going to be amazing because everybody is losing their fucking minds making this shit. It was the same thing with The Revenant, when you heard, like, they had to keep going to different places to shoot the movie because the snow kept melting, and Inarritu wanted to shoot shit just at magic hour, and they had like, they would set up all day for one shot that would, because they only had 15-20 minutes to get the shot, and people were like, "Fuck this, I hate this shit," and I'm just like, "Oh, this movie's going to be amazing." And they both came out the same year, and guess what? I was right.
Yeah.
Look, it's not like this was a cakewalk either, because Anya has stated multiple times this shoot was one of the most difficult she's ever done. Like, she said the only shoot that was harder than this was The Northman.
Look, you know, if you deal with European auteurs or like foreign auteurs, you're gonna have to deal with some shit.
Eggers is American.
Eggers is American? I thought he was British.
No, he's American.
Oh, okay. Well,
yo, listen, it's just Eggers. The problem with the Northmen is they were just trying to be as thorough as possible. So they would have these niggas hanging out in mud, and they would be sinking into the mud. And that's when Anya's like, "Yo, we gotta start shooting because like I am getting weighed down. I am tired of standing in this mud." Like, she's like, it was up to my ankles, and then by the time we started shooting, it was up to my knees.
Look, that's an actor's life.
Yeah, she said, like, but she said, she was like, "Yo, this was no cakewalk. This was it was an exhausting, hard shoot to the point where she's like, as much as she's proud of the movie and she liked working with George, and like from what I understand, everybody loved working on this movie. She's like, yeah, I don't want to make another Mad Max movie."
Look, I get it. You can see it on screen how difficult it is. So, you know,
I mean, there's a part where she literally has to pop out of gravel, and it's her really popping out of fucking gravel.
Yeah, I mean, it's all worth it though. It shows up on the screen.
Let's talk about fucking the fate. Let's real quick talk about the fate of
Dementis.
Yeah, I think because they give you different versions, that's what I love. But I think the one version that is true and the fate that he deserves is that he becomes a tree.
Yeah,
he becomes like fertilizer for a peach tree.
I thought that was like the definitive way he died, because like the history man said, like Furiosa whispered to me his actual fate.
Yeah, but you know how people are going to contest that shit. But I thought that was a deserved fate because that dude's a piece of shit.
And
I was
honestly,
like, you're a piece of shit.
That was the most horrible fate of all of the ones that were presented.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, oh, you kept this motherfucker alive.
And I mean, he did. That's awful, bro. He not only did he kidnap her, but he made her watch her mother die. But then every other violent act he did, he's like, oh, close your eyes. And I'm like, there's nothing worse she's going to see than what you made her watch with her mother. It's more traumatizing to watch your mom get tortured and killed than watching you kill all these random people in horrible ways.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
like I said, like he's one of the most brutal villains to me.
Yeah. I mean, it is literally an odyssey. It's her trying to get home. It is an odyssey.
Yeah.
So
and that continues into Fury Road.
Shout out to Charlize because she makes a brief cameo at the end. It's for a shot.
Right.
She turns to camera. I was like, oh shit, they got her back for this one fucking brief scene.
Look,
Charlize has been begging George like, yo, I want to do another one. Like, hurry up. I'm getting old. I want to do another one.
Yeah, I would like to, like, if we're going to do it, like, if Charlize wants to do it, I could go for another Furiosa movie.
Yeah, look, this opens up the world so much that we could start getting Mad Max sagas, like Immortan Joe, a Mad Max saga. Like, I know there's other places in the wasteland besides these three fortresses, right?
Yeah, fortresses, yeah.
Like, let's start exploring what else is out there. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's ran into how many people had 4 Mad Max adventures, and he's ran into different people.
Right.
And 2 different oases, right? Because there was the oasis that the kids were at, and now the oasis in Fury Road. So
yeah, we can have Mad Max saga. This could actually be their Star Wars.
Yeah.
This could go forever.
Yeah, I just hope George makes them much faster because it's basically 9 years since Fury Road.
Right.
And then it was like 20 or 30 years in between Beyond Thunderdome and Fury Road. So make them quicker, bro.
Like, if you need some help, we'll chip in. Let's make it happen.
All right, and that is episode 122.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies. You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFire XL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.